Now, my next guest, she knows all about life on the campaign trail, having worked on a number of elections herself before becoming Boris Johnson's Deputy Chief of Staff in 2019, although she did say it was a wee bit like being his nanny. But Cleo Watson has now left Westminster behind for life as an author. But her second novel, Cleavage, is out today. It's lifting the lid on, well, I guess the more scandalous side of politics. It's so good to see you, Cleo.
Thanks for having me back.
And the women that we met in Whips, the initial one, these three very, very different characters, very interesting characters, they're back.
They are, and it's the kind of next stage of their careers. They were very junior in the first book, and this time they're kind of finding their way, you know, and their lives are going off in different directions. Babies are coming into it, kind of boyfriends, potential career progression. And I think, as we all found, that can kind of put your friendships under a bit of strain.
Absolutely, of course it can. It's called Cleavage.
It is.
Cleavage, though, it's interesting in the first page, you tell us there's three different meanings. There's obviously cleavage that we all know about.
We sure do, yeah.
Yes, indeed. But there's other meanings of that.
Yes, yeah, without sort of driving the pun too hard and getting too boring, because everyone's hearing a lot about politics at the moment. There's a political science term about cleavage, which basically means kind of different life experiences that set groups of the population apart. So it might be whether you went to university or not, whether you've got children or not. And I think as we're probably experiencing a bit now, we've got an election on, we kind of find ourselves falling into those groups because it, you know, depending on your life experiences and what you want, you are more or less likely to vote for someone, depending on whether you think they're going to look after you.
Ah, I understand. Are you clairvoyant? Because we didn't know there was going to be an election when it was going to be published.
That's true. Although I actually shared a little joke with a friend back in, I think, March, and she said, "Oh, when do you think there's an election?" And I joked and said, "Oh, probably 4th of July, Independence Day." And I wish I put a bet on it.
Oh, you should have put a bet on it. Oh, you should have.
Also, it just shows, like, you can't joke about these things anymore because they end up happening.
No, indeed, and it is, and you know, this follows the whole everything that's going on now is in the book, and you know that everybody, you know, who's connected with politics is going to be looking in here going, "Is this me that Cleo's writing about? Could that be moi?"
Well, that is definitely
especially the more interesting one.
Yes, that's true, that's true. Well, what I'm hoping is for everybody else, you know, we're being bombarded with election chit-chat at the moment. Hopefully this will be a bit of a palate cleanser and give you a sense of what it's really like on the inside. It is quite scandalous, but, you know, it's kind of what we're seeing at the moment. Elections are very high octane, they're crazy times, and all kinds of stuff happens on the campaign trail that the public don't see. We just see these, you know, milkshakes and, you know, Titanic museums and all kinds of just awkward things that only the cameras capture. Behind the scenes, as usual in politics, it is much, much crazier.
And it's all going on because there is this weird thing that because it's so intense that someone you might be sitting with in the office and never look twice at, suddenly on the campaign bus they become reasonably attractive, particularly after a few bevies.
Yeah, it's a bit like the office Christmas party for the rest of us, where like suddenly you'll see someone in a different light, and you know, you can get these kind of workplace crushes, but on a campaign it's tenfold, and some people act on it, some people don't, and generally you afterwards you think, what was I thinking?
Yeah. The thing about this, though, is it's set in the world of politics, but at the end of the day, it's great stories. It's stories. You want to find out about these women, and even although, and they're not particularly nice. You know, there's some, like everyone, you know, nobody's all good and all bad.
Apart from you, come on.
But nobody is. And that's what makes it really interesting, because I think you can identify with a lot of these women. You know, somebody going through a pregnancy and trying to juggle that, and it's very difficult, and people never ask the guy, the man, about how he's going to juggle it. It's always the women, so it's fascinating.
And we're really seeing that at the moment. You know, I'm really concerned about the number of women who are putting themselves forward to become MPs, because, you know, ultimately they are kind of losing out at the moment. It's very, very hard, you know, without giving too much away, this character applies to become an MP while she's already pregnant, visibly pregnant. And it's very, very difficult, because people say, oh, yeah, we need more women in public life. They don't really want their MP, though, to be having a baby.
Right.
And that's quite a big difference, I suppose. And, you know, I think it's very important to have all these, you know, motherhood's not the only thing. We all need all these different life experiences brought into politics. we don't necessarily get that at the moment.
No, we don't. And the way that it works is really not good for family life. You know, people voting at sort of 10 o'clock at night and things like that. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It really doesn't work very well. It needs a radical sort out, doesn't
That's
it?
true, but
It
it's
really
not
does.
just, you know, it's not just for parenthood. If you've got caring responsibilities, or if you've got, you know, older parents, or if you've adopted a child, like there are lots of kind of family circumstances that make life very, very difficult.
Yeah, but
if you're a
make you
politician.
better at your job
I
as a
think so.
politician.
I think
because
so.
if you've just gone straight from university and then right into politics, you've not had those life experiences. That's what we really want. That
Exactly.
Do you miss it? Do you miss the craziness of it all? I mean, I know you're writing about it, so but that's different to living it in a sense, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, I've just had a baby myself, actually, and if I'm honest, I feel better rested and I'm clearing up less sort of proverbial poo now than I was then.
With a 4-month-old.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard because you kind of get the bug coming back a little bit these times. You watch the debates and you think, oh, no, you should be saying this or that. But truthfully, it does feel better to be out of it. And the other thing is it's nice not having to pay so much attention. Like, I probably absorb less media than I did.
Right.
I probably, you know, I'm not on my phone so much, I'm not scrolling through Twitter. And ironically, you end up knowing more because you're not kind of in the bubble, kind of seeing what everybody thinks. You actually get a sense of what do you think.
Right.
And yeah, just having that degree removed is actually quite important.
No, I think you're absolutely right, because oftentimes you're just running about, you know, like sort of the thick of it, you know, reacting.
Yeah.
All of the time
Well,
reacting.
you think, oh, this is what everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
And you realise it actually isn't.
No. No, you're right. You're so right. It's such a brilliant page turner.
Thank you.
I mean, the summer's coming up. People are going on holiday. They'll want something to read. They'll want something to make them, because it's funny as well.
It might
It's
cheer up a few people
funny.
who are going to lose their seats. Who knows?
Yes, that's very true. You should send them as a wee gift.
To be a bit close to the bone, otherwise I don't know.
Cleo, congratulations. It's great.
Thank
and
you.
is it out right now? It's
Today.
Happy publication
Today
day.
is publication
Oh,
day. Thank you.
fantastic. Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks
Great to
for
see you.
having me.
Yep, Cleo and Cleavage out today.